I didn't get my haircut done before this.
Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, welcome to the Beacon TVL show. It's me, it's your host, co-founder, head coach, VP of Happy, Chris here. Professor Chris, if you watch any of our marketing information that goes out. Got two fantastic guests on today that came on, one of them at least came on late last year. We got Ken, Developer Relations at Taoshi. Welcome, sir. Subnet number 8.
Yes. Always excited to chat with you, Chris, and excited for today's episode.
Exactly. And then we got the head of growth over at Taoshi. We have Luke here as well on the call. Luke, welcome to the TVL show. Welcome to the panel.
Yes,
How are you, sir?
Good, man. Pleasure to be here. Happy to be jumping on today, chatting with you wonderful gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we all met in Salt Lake City at Permissionless. So we had a lot of good times. In fact, we were halfway, 75% not joking about releasing a pump.fun coin, probably on a very unique blockchain called Curd. So if you see Curd out there,
buy it all up.
Buy it all up. You knew where it came from. Not financial advice, of course. It's going to go to help starving people who've never had cheese curds before.
Starving kids in Michigan and Wisconsin.
Exactly. The home of cheese curds, if I must say. It was funny, we were talking about what to open with, and we were just talking about hats, and I talked about how, I'm in very high res, and I can tell that I have dust on here, so I'm using this lint roller. And Ken was just like astounded by the size of my lint roller.
And that you had it on your desk.
Yeah, well, so this is a pro tip. If you have a gamepad, I have a gamepad. I have an ROG, Republic of Gamers gamepad that I have here. It's like 30 by 15, right? It is wide, it is tall. It's a good spot to, soak up all of your gamer oil. Gross. Just like everything that's out there. But a lot of people are like, how do you clean a mouse pad? How do you clean off your gamepad surface? You shouldn't really use anything but a lint roller to pick up any type of particles. Like especially like I'll be transparent. I do eat at my desk from time to time. I come back down with snacks and I've got all kinds of crumbs here. All I do is lift up my beautiful mechanical keyboard. And I just start rolling here. I'm rolling. Rolling.
Okay, so a couple things here. Well, you get the crumbs on the lint roller too, which is kind of interesting. What if you get like cheese or like ham on there?
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
Yeah, because it's disposable, right? I got a little thing I can just rip it off, and then I can play out my Katamari Damacy, dreams. That's an old reference there, if you know what Katamari Damacy is.
Speaking of keyboards.
Oh, that is nice. Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Tell me about how you acquired that split keyboard, if you don't mind.
Well, this has been a journey. I mean, I don't know if you see over there, but I got other keyboards over there.
Yes, I do see that.
Some in my closet as well. I mean, I started to get wrist pain, so I was like, well, how can I fix this? Which went into a whole rabbit hole of keyboards. So I was soldering, and come to find out, this company released a split keyboard that I can program myself, which is pretty sweet. But that's super nerd.
Did we just become best friends, Ken? That's amazing.
Wait, we weren't before?
Oh no, of course we are. But I'm just saying because I have my Epo Maker TH80 with super silent linear white switches on them.
Oh man. Okay.
And I built this, I didn't build it from scratch, but I bought the bare bones, and then popped all the mods in, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm actually looking for that style where it's like that split, because I also have you and I are longtime programmers, my friend. We have that specific repetitive motion type of deal. So I don't want you to feel left out, Luke. Do you also have a
rocking, buddy?
I was gonna say, meanwhile, I'm just sitting here on my Mac. I got nothing.
Your MacBook. Come on, man. You gotta step up your game.
There you go.
I like the Mac. I think it's nice.
Yeah. No, the Mac is good, man. The Mac keyboard's good.
I will say what I've also done, and I didn't realize it until someone asked me about it the other day, is I've switched to a magic trackpad. Oh, gross. You can see all
Interesting.
And see what you can do to clean that is now you use a microfiber cloth and it erases all of the oils on there. So now it looks fairly, that looks nice.
Chris, I'm fully expecting you to just pick up just random items. Somehow you have everything right by your side, just like a sound.
I do. Right there. Like my iPod, my AirPods case rather is this lovely that's neither here nor there. No one's here to really watch that. And if you are, that's awesome. I appreciate you watching all of this informational stuff. Obviously happy belated New Year to you, Susan, as well. For everybody, this is your guys' first appearance on the show in 2025. Very interesting week leading up until today. So I kind of want to start with that. And the reason why is really, I think there's two things, right? Obviously, the market took a complete puke over the weekend. And what we're looking at right now are two really interesting things. Like the first thing is the Dixie. And while you can make the argument, and gentlemen, feel free to jump in here if you agree, that there are multiple correlations that still exist between crypto majors and equities, or specific indicators out there in TradFi. The Dixie being one of them. The Dixie flew above 110 at one point, which of course with fears about inflation, unsure about the next report that came out this morning, it caused Bitcoin to really just fall towards 90K. We were pretty much careening towards 90K. And, I woke up this morning and I'm like, well, hopefully you all bought. Hopefully you guys got your dip buys in.
Right.
Because, seeing XRP up 27% on the 7-day, when I was here last week, and we were talking to Tafik from Renault and Company, it was like value dip season. That's what we talked about on all of our member calls last week. It's a value dip. If there's any beta plays that you think are good, anything you specifically want to get into, ahead of buying AI agent coins, which of course also dropped quite a bit last week. Last week was the week to do it, because obviously we're going to see more volatility up to this point, guys, right? But ultimately, there's a lot of interest leading up until Monday, which is our U.S. inauguration. So if you guys have any market thoughts, feel free to pop them in here real quick.
Yeah, man. I think, over the weekend, obviously, we saw that kind of flash crash down into the, high 80s. You take a look at the Bitcoin chart, you got a pretty nice support on the 1-day, 3-day, hovering around 92. So it's interesting. I kind of figured that, once we saw that dip below and then price swing back up pretty quick, that it'd be that fake out. You can see it kind of right there in that little crater out. And obviously now we're back to nearly 99. So, we have it's Wednesday, so 5 days till the inauguration. So I'm curious to kind of see how things play out. Whether it's we pump into inauguration, and inauguration is kind of a sell the news event, or we see another sort of dip later this week, perhaps, and then you get the new administration passing a pro crypto policy, and then the market pumps. I don't know kind of what the scope of policy might be. I would probably say it's unlikely. You'd see some sort of reduction on capital gains tax. However, if some sort of thing like that came into play, I can't imagine that the market wouldn't fly if you saw regulation like that come in. So that's personally what I'm hoping for, but not confident in seeing, I suppose.
Yeah, that's one of those big things. It's like, if that actually, the typical thing is, what is it? Sell the news, but buy the rumor, sell the news. But this is so huge. We'll see. It could totally do something different. So I'm excited to see. But I think in the long term, of course, over the course of a few months, things are going to be pretty well. Not financial.
Yeah, and right now, obviously, you can leave it to Polymarket to dominate on all the polls that are coming up for Monday.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, maybe there'll be one or two. Oh no, they have the prop bets are flying at Polymarket. The interesting one that people have talked about specifically with regards to DeFi, of course, is what's he going to say during the speech? Obviously, I think it's a lock to buy here, but really the two things here are Bitcoin with like a strategic Bitcoin reserve, or just the US being the leader in cryptocurrency, or Doge, which of course would be very, very Elon, right? It's interesting to see the different things that people are purchasing here, but at the same time, obviously, I guess the question is, if he mentions this stuff, he's kind of already done it, or has it not been done to a large enough stage to where Bitcoin, or to its, to its credit, Dogecoin isn't already in at least a little bit of the back of the mind of most Americans here, or even most people around the world. Most people understand that, cryptocurrency is a thing. Does him speaking about it during his inauguration speech, suddenly make it something that's completely,
yeah, I would think
legitimate,
right? Certainly it's putting the bug in people's ears. So you kind of would think, at least I guess it's like those billboards you see on, or commercials or anything. You keep digesting it, you keep seeing it, and then every now and then you're like, maybe one time you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna buy some, because you just keep it in your mind. But yeah, you would think with all these discussions and talks, it would kind of pop off a little bit more. But maybe some people it hasn't fully solidified in some people's minds yet.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem to me like from his past speaking engagements and whatnot, he does seem to be very pro crypto. And I do think he has, a large audience of people who in America, are very pro crypto. And if you were a single issue voter and all you cared about was crypto, the obvious candidate would have been Trump. So I do think that, he does have an audience that he can cater to there. And I think there obviously is, an economic and financial incentive to try and kind of make America like the crypto capital of the world, which, in Trump speak is something that we've heard him say before. So yeah. I'm curious to see, what actions are taken, because he does say a lot of things, right? But at the end of the day, obviously all that matters is kind of what action and the executive action maybe he puts forth. I read a tweet the other day from one of the pretty credible crypto news sources, or financial news sources, I forget which one, but saying that there'd be multiple executive actions on Monday with regard to crypto. So I'm not sure. I'm curious to see what that would entail, really.
Yeah, because I think what's interesting is, even though David Sachs is in as the crypto and AI czar, Mark Andreessen's doing a lot of legwork behind the scenes, trying to really push a lot of things. So we could see a record amount of executive orders on day one. I mean, I've even him talking yesterday about the ERS, the External Revenue Service, and we'll see. Help me out with those crypto taxes, bro. We'll see what happens here. Please.
Yeah, that's the most bullish thing would be if he reduced capital gains or crypto taxes. I remember him saying something about some sort of incentive exactly for American-made crypto companies. So it's all he said, she said, until there's an actual action taken. So it should be a fun day on Monday to kind of see how it all unfolds for us crypto guys.
I did want to take a quick little detour, and I want to say thanks to Julia for making me think of this. Being out there and helping others. I just want to say our heart goes out to everyone out there in the LA area, anyone in Southern California, who happens to have property there, happens to have friends and family out there. What a terrible tragedy this has been. I was a California resident for 10 years, so I know that area well. I have many friends in there. I have many friends who have lost, many friends who have been narrowly escaping, but still the air is terrible out there as well. So when you're in that specific area, that TMZ, that 30-mile zone, that, even though TMZ covers that, that's also an area where it's like a bowl of some sort. The Inland Empire, stuff like that. The air is just awful out there. So please take care of yourselves. We do have a member in our community, in our TVL community, who she lost her home. She was in the Altadena area. So our hearts go out to everybody in our community, everybody out there who is is doing, great services like Julie is, trying to help out others who are in need. Please continue to do so, and you get our good wishes, all the way from out here, where thankfully we've been blessed to not have to deal with that too much. So, so yeah, hopefully everybody who's been affected, you bounce back quickly, and hopefully the bounce back is always better than where you were. No real good way to really talk about that,
Not at all. Yeah. Unfortunate. 100% unfortunate. Yeah. My, if anyone's seen my username on socials, there's some California in there. It's because, California growing up was kind of near and dear to my heart. So 100%. Yeah. Hopefully everyone recovers, and I know it's just a terrible thing. So as you said, I like your closing statement, hopefully you bounce back better than before. So, yeah, thanks for pointing that out, and heart goes out and thoughts and prayers for everyone out in California.
Agreed. I will say I'm happy that there hasn't been a lot of weird memes kind of pushed around this. One thing that crypto and DeFi in particular is really good at is giving. So, if there happens to be any type of charitable causes, any type of, anything that's like that's out there for blockchain based type of stuff, please, if you have some extra funds, contribute to that type of stuff, because they do help people, and they're free of red tape and bureaucracy. That's the beautiful thing about it. So hopefully we bounce into a better time coming soon. Obviously, the world's going to keep going, and there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. But just want to take a quick second, because sometimes you just gotta think how humbly and how blessed we all are to be able to be sitting in these chairs, talking what we're talking about, when there's others who don't have, just out of control that was outside of their control overall.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 100%.
Really quick, let's talk about Taoshi and Glitch. I know you guys still have the beta going on. Can you give me a little bit of an update where we're at here with Glitch, sir?
Yeah, man. So we're getting pretty excited here. We're still in our internal testing phase. We're currently, working through that. Things have been great success so far internally. So right now we're working on actually a complete rebrand and update to our UI there. You'll see on our website. So we just brought on a new designer. So we're working on completely redoing the website and rolling out like our full website. Is obviously this is kind of a one pager just to help people get into our beta. So if you're listening, you're not aware of what Glitch is. Glitch is an automated trading platform, which is made by Taoshi, our company where Ken and I have the blessing of working at. And what Glitch does is works to democratize access to these sophisticated trading strategies. So you essentially kind of plug in with your account and your funds. It's all completely non-custodial, so we never touch your funds, and then you let the strategies go to work for you. So we've been working under the hood on developing this for probably about 6 months now, maybe longer, since we really kind of started to ideate this. And right now we are tentatively about a month and a half away from going live with our public beta launch. So I think we have about 1,000 people in our beta list. We'll be rolling out something now soon to allow people to get earlier access, kind of move up the queue. And you'll see a new full website rebrand here soon as we roll that out. We're actually rolling out a rebranded social media in like a few hours. Once we get off this call, I'll be pushing that out. So pretty stoked about that. Got a new look and feel coming as we move into the new year and get ready for the launch. So things are going along well, man. I'm excited for it, and I think it's obviously something really cool for us at Taoshi. Is we're all kind of driven by the mission to make these sophisticated strategies really accessible to everyone in a way that has never really been done or seen before. As these hedge fund level strategies are typically gated to people who have access to hedge funds, which someone like me does not have. So working hard behind the scenes.
Love it. One thing too, just so you guys, and of course we'll talk about this as well. Taoshi is part of the BitTensor ecosystem. Their subnet number 8. So, for those of you not familiar with BitTensor, Luke or Ken, if you want to describe a little bit about that and where you guys fit in with the general ecosystem there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if how aware people are of this recent AI boom within crypto. You have virtuals, which is kind of a platform for AI agents, but then you also have, in my opinion, kind of a lower level system, BitTensor, which not only could you build something like agents, you can kind of gamify all different compute, meaning you can gamify trading, which is what we're doing with Taoshi. You can gamify LLMs, think pitting ChatGPT versus Claude, scoring that result and giving the best result back to the user while incentivizing people to provide you with the best result. So it's kind of like this field of different ecosystems where each ecosystem has these incentive networks to produce the best result. And SN8, which is what Taoshi is doing, as Luke said, is gamifying trading. So it's to me revolutionary tech. We're all using kind of these. I use ChatGPT every day. Claude, I use ChatGPT and Claude for different things. What if you can score both of those and incentivize one of those to give you the best result? And what that does is it improves all parties. So BitTensor is really interesting. Taoshi was one of the first subnets, subnet 8. Now I believe there's 50 some. Luke,
isn't it like theoretically 64?
Approaching 60, yeah. I think. There's a
a
lot.
So we've kept our slot the whole time because we're innovative, we're producing good stuff, and we're in the ecosystem, and we've provided a lot of tech for people to use. So yeah, it's kind of a long-winded explanation on BitTensor, but
I would also add that if you're a listener and you feel confident in your ability to trade, come trade on our subnet PTN. There's traditionally been a lot of technical barriers to doing so. So if you're not code savvy, you'll soon be able to come trade on PTN, courtesy of our guy Ken here, who has worked on Project Horizon, which is an initiative of ours that makes it so that you can, in one sentence, makes it so that you can trade on PTN, no code required, just submitting a trade through an account like on Binance, for example. So we got that on the way, and we'll be posting documentation on that soon. And if you feel confident in your ability to trade, you can come sign up, contribute your signals, and you can earn TAO and rewards. So pretty cool stuff we got on the way.
Yeah, earning TAO is it's good to get. It's good to earn. That's for sure. And we'll have to reach out to SN10, the Sturdy team, to learn more about the EVM rollup that they're looking into to make it easier for EVM customers to come into BitTensor. Because if there's one thing that's been tough, there's no real easy way outside of getting into their ecosystem natively through TAO to really just merge what you have in Solana, in EVM, in Cosmos over to TAO overall. So
yeah,
and if I have a little bit of knowledge on the EVM side of things, so if there's any questions, also in the chat, if there's any questions, feel free to ask. It's interesting what they're doing with the EVM in BitTensor.
Well, the question is when. WEN question mark. Ken.
A lot of it's rolled out. Yeah, I think it's also kind of in the testing phase, but a lot of it's rolled out now specifically for developers, so we can build and bring things to BitTensor's EVM. The thing is, when you launch a new chain, not a lot of stuff is, it's a fresh chain. So they're trying to get builders in so we can. And there's a lot of stuff already. I think there's DEXs. I think people are bringing stable coins, a lot of stuff. Taoshi's interested in doing a couple things. We're looking at a couple things. So it's just bringing Ethereum-like functionality to BitTensor, which was already there, but not in the form of EVM, what is EVM? Is just kind of sort of the platform that Ethereum uses. It's the Ethereum virtual machine. So you could have stuff like smart contracts, NFTs, tokens, meme coins on BitTensor. So there's a lot of innovation on BitTensor that we're seeing, and it's popping off right now.
Yeah, love it. Dynamic TAO is on the way too soon.
Yeah, DTAO. That's going to be the interesting one.
Should be, I think the expectation is maybe as soon as the end of the month, if not sometime soon in February. So, buy Taoshi.
Wow.
NFA.
Very nice.
Yeah,
you get an inside scoop
here. That's out of our hands. That's on Open Tensor Foundation. But, I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. It should be cool seeing the full open market dynamics of BitTensor at work, as you can buy and sell subnets really. So it should be cool.
It's going to be, it's a really interesting, I would even call it like an economy, an ecosystem of an economy on BitTensor, specifically how all of the different subnets, as you mentioned, there's more than 50 of them. They're all different. They all do different things. So being able to combine together into a world of decentralized AI, because frankly, we need decentralization AI. We don't want Anthropic. We don't want Microsoft. We don't want Google owning all of this. We want the ability to have parity. We want the ability to have choice and the ability for everyone to choose how they want to, how to get exposure to this type of stuff, much like how you do it in DeFi. And if everything that I'm talking to you about right now is a little bit over your head, I would like to direct you to our free group, Total Value Locked, the namesake of this particular weekly podcast we've been doing since December of 2021. Join us. It's absolutely free. School.com/beacon. Many people here have commented. Our members. We have multiple members. We're on our way to our year anniversary on February 20th. So we're going to be really excited because we're going to be in East Denver. We're going to have a lot of awesome things going on there. We also have our monthly masterclass happening this Saturday. It's just going to be our first masterclass on putting it all together, profit taking, building the forever portfolio. If that interests you and you want to really be amongst the best and the best, learn from the best in the business, feel free to join up with our Beacon Accelerator or Beacon Mastermind offerings. And thanks to our founding members, thanks to our current Beacon Mastermind members, and of course our Beacon Accelerator members for helping make all of this possible. Moving on. So ultimately we saw that, we had a bounce. That's what I said yesterday in our Discord. Well, that was ... a bounce. And a lot of that is based on news, right? We have CPI numbers coming in. They actually looked really good. They were on target. So specifically, we're looking good for inflation. That's kind of a policy issue right now, specifically with tariffs, specifically with other things that, incoming President Trump and his administration are going to be, kind of forced to kind of tackle quickly to try and allay the fears overall with what's going on out there in the world economies. So we'll see, specifically what happens there. I'm just going to run through this real quick, guys, just because we have a couple more things to talk about before we head to. That's an interesting figure.
Wow.
Yep. There's going to be more volatility. So of course, just be very mindful. What did you say, Luke? I'm sorry.
I got to pull that one up on my own. I want to see the bands there. That's quite a bit of squeezing there. So
yeah, the bull market support band is it's going to tell an interesting story, I think, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, specifically with policy. So
yeah, not to spoil it, but it'll probably go up or down. So
50-50 shot, right?
As most crypto Twitter guys would say, they'll give you.
Luke's our quant, so
there we go.
We need this guy. Yeah,
there we go. I'm going to go ahead and run into something that affects a lot of people in our community, and that's going to be Jupuary, which is the annual airdrop from the Jupiter Foundation, the Jupiter DAO on Solana, which I consider the center of Solana DeFi. The checker is live, and there are stacking rewards. So if you want more Jupe, many members of our group, because Jupe is an early target. If you're looking for an easy farm to get into, JLP is one of the easiest things to get into, especially if you're bullish on Sol, because you're pretty much bullish on Sol if you like Jupe and JLP anyway. The tiers have been updated. It went from being like a very, frankly, kind of okay airdrop to a really good airdrop, right? So they now went from like 5 tiers to 8 tiers. So specifically with regards to swap tier, and I believe this snapshot is from, the link's in the show notes. It'll be on TVL later on. But the swap tiers, it used to go from like $0 to $800, and then 800 to 29K, and then 29K to 500K. So they have broken this down quite a bit. So if you've done roughly more than 10K of swaps, specifically if you're following along with a lot of our information, if you're in our community, whether your free community or our mastermind, we have multiple members who are getting a better than a car payment for their airdrop. This is just on swap volume from November 2020 to November 2024. It is stacking though. So if you're a Jupe governance member, you stake your Jupe. Something we've talked about a lot in our mastermind. You're also going to get more multipliers. If you've been voting, you get more multipliers. And there's, tons of other bonuses that are going to be in there. Now, there is a checker that's available. It's available at the bottom of this article. Again, we'll be in the show notes, but congrats to everybody who's looking for a decent airdrop. This is not a bad airdrop. This is not what we call a burger airdrop, like multiple airdrops that have come out in the last, couple of months, 6 months. This one's actually significant. And what should you do with that? If you don't really, it's really more of a conviction thing, right? And I'll ask you guys the same thing. If you have high conviction in a project, do something and then reinvest that into the ecosystem in some way. Stake it for stake your jupe. Like if you receive 200 jupe, you can stake it because it's roughly about $200, and you can participate in what's called the active staking rewards, where every quarter you'll receive more jupe as well as some other type of launchpad coin that they've put out. That could be worth a little bit of money. So that is like the gift that keeps on giving. Or sell it for something. Sell it for an AI agent coin. Sell it for something that's like that's hot and running and you think might run somewhere. Take that as seed money and grow it. So thoughts from you guys about, what great things to do with airdrops.
No, I mean, your play is exactly kind of sort of how I play it. Depends on the project. I like Jupe. I just checked. I don't have any. I just started using Solana probably like a month ago. So first time ever. Yeah, I know. But airdrops are it's just wild. You just get dropped free money essentially. And some of these are just life-changing for some people. So, but like you said, I either like investing it back in the project. I remember, I think I got the Uniswap airdrop, which was pretty nice. And I just kept it there for a while, and it continued to grow because the project is awesome. Love airdrops. You never know when you're going to get it. And when you get it, it's a nice little gift.
For me, it's funny because, I've been in crypto for like 4 or 5 years now, and I've never actually done any airdrops. The only one I ever did was one I sent Ken that made him money. So,
so you get a cut.
Because it was Fluence. If you ever saw the Fluence airdrop, and it was like if you pushed something to GitHub, like three like repos or something. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
And so I sent it to Ken, knowing that he had done that, and he claimed the airdrop.
Paid for my rent. Yeah, it was a good airdrop. It paid for my rent. So I think I sent you a little bit.
Yeah,
if not, hit me up. Yeah, pay it forward. But airdrops are awesome, man. I love airdrops.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful thing in crypto because these people who literally you could see people who don't even have money, and they can get airdrop 10, 20K. Crazy amounts.
10, 20.
I know the Hyperliquid airdrop was massive. So
it's huge. 5 figures for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, tons.
I had a buddy of mine who played the airdrop game. He was just washing hundreds of thousands of dollars through these. He knew.
We don't want to use that word. Or we don't want to use the word washing. He was, investing.
Investing. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
Investing. I don't know. Not financial advice. I don't know anything about this stuff, but just too much. And it turns out he didn't get it. But it's an interesting game to play.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. And again, congrats to everybody who gets a Jupe airdrop. These are the really good ones because Jupiter is a great DAO. They have a lot of stuff going on. If you're going to be in Istanbul for Catstanbul on the 27th, it's going to be a great time. I won't be there, but I'll live vicariously through any of you that happen to go. And congrats to that.
If you're like me and you don't know airdrops, these are your guys. Guys. That's where you learn about them. I should go to school. Seriously, I don't know.
We have material in our stuff, so you can just learn ours.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's cool. So Chainalysis came out with an interesting report, and really this is more just for the awareness portion, right? When we talk about this stuff, this is for awareness. Chainalysis says a record $51 billion in crypto was spent in illicit activities in 2024. The interesting part about this is that actually only represents 0.14% of all crypto transactions in 2024.
Wow.
To kind of give you an idea of how much money has flown through crypto over the last year. The fact that 51 billion is only 0.14% of all crypto transactions is nuts. And I just want to say, there is nothing illicit about going and getting a Solana seeker or getting a Play Solana device. I just want to say that first of all, which I did, by the way.
Did you get yours in?
I did.
Oh man, okay.
Oh, these were all bought with profits, by the way. So yeah, there's nothing illicit about that. These are the gifts that keep on giving. The airdrops off these devices are going to be great, and my Game Boy lookalike on this PSG1 is going to be prolific. And I just want to, I'll unbox it. I'll share it with the group. I'll do videos. It'll be fun. But But of course, this also talks about bad actors, right? So that's something we talk about a lot. Bad actors are terrible. To kind of piggyback off that, the State Department put out a joint statement between the USA, Japan, and South Korea. 659 million was yoinked out of crypto by North Korea last year, at least from these three. Just from these three nations. Actually, Wazir X is on here, so I guess that doesn't necessarily count. But overall, the only reason I bring this up is just for, we're going to talk about AI agents. We're going to talk about a lot of awesome stuff that's really just inflated our portfolios over the last couple months. And this is the one thing I want you guys to understand. AI, as awesome as it is, will also feed into bad actors. So please be very careful out there with what you get into. There's still rugs. There's AI-based rugs now, and they're stupid. And it's unbelievable that we're, again, evolving to this, but it's just kind of the dark side of the really awesome stuff that's out there as well, right? Just remember, prices and scams rise together. That is the key thing I wanted to bring up, is that let's just quote Biggie and not that guy, I won't mention his name. Mo money, mo problems, right? So it's so true. And so just remember, as more shine comes into Bitcoin, obviously with the inauguration, if he talks about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, that could shoot Bitcoin up to 250K by the end of the cycle. There's going to be more scams. There's going to be more scams, right? So be careful. I get people all the time in my messages. They're like, is this a legitimate website? Is this a legitimate website? 99% of them are not. So if you get fed something in a DM, like in an email, just be very careful. Because like we're saying here, prices and scams rise together. Our whole ethos is on max gains, max protection of wealth. So I'll let you guys, say your piece on that, obviously. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, that's a good point. With all these eyes, it's just right for more scammers to come in. Be careful what you click on. Double check your URLs. If you don't know what it is, don't click on it. Somehow someone will send you something to your email. I don't even know how they'll get your email, but they will. And your DMs, all that stuff, your social media, just be very careful and go very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. You guys said it well. It goes without saying. Just protect your capital, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and you're going to see on your if you're doing your research on crypto Twitter, there's a lot of people getting airdropped all kinds of coins, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them have gone really big. It's very simple. You're going to be getting coins just for holding other coins, like AI agents and stuff like that. So ultimately, be very careful out there. Always double check where it comes from. You can check your account on the Blockchain Explorer, and if it looks like it's something that's not legitimate, chances are it's not. Also just because exactly, don't interact with it, because there are such things as honeypots, and a honeypot is something where you can certainly buy a token, but there's no way you're selling that thing. And that's kind of like a little black hole. And if you go look at a chart for a coin and there's no red candles, guess what, buddy? That's a honeypot. Or if the sells are coming from specific accounts because they've blacklisted everybody else except for, a couple different accounts, that's a really, oh gosh. I'm trying to think of the last time I was in a honeypot. Oh yeah, Tate. Thanks, Tate. They exist. So, and it happens to the best of us, right? We're all out there just trying to research and trying to see what's going to pop, and they're going to happen. Just be vigilant. Obviously have wallet separation. Don't put this stuff with your hard-earned funds.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's one of the cool things about this space, right? Is in your basement, in your office, you can create a platform or a protocol that can change the whole ecosystem. But you can also create whatever you want, and you can scam some people. So these things look legit. Somehow they'll send it to you. You'll think it's the actual protocol as well. It's happened to me. Lost some NFTs this way. Just be very careful. Yeah. I was trying to get the heads up on a, I don't know, new drop or protocol or something. And I clicked on a link and confirmed it in my wallet. And then my prize NFT was gone. So it happens. So just be slow and double keep on, just think about what the actions you're taking.
That's why wallet separation's so clutch, man.
100%.
All right. We'll go to a couple more things before we head more into some of the deeper stuff we want to talk about. And this has been flying by. Again, thanks so much to Luke, head of growth over at Taoshi, Ken Devrel at Taoshi, for being with us today with Glitch.financial as well. Love having them on. Excited to have them on more. And yeah, let's talk about the next piece of news real quick before we head out to the AI agent section. And that is actually just something that popped up literally right before we came online. And that is the Justinsun, man. Justinsun. USDD 2.0 is about to launch with a 20% APY, much like Athena's USDE, right? And it's fully subsidized by Tron DAO. Do with this information what you like. USDD, never been a favorite stablecoin of ours, unfortunately, for a lot of the reasons that you may think. I mean, we need to get this PFP, bros. We need to all do this one. Because that's the face of just winning, I guess, in USDD. But the fact that there's a 2.0 means that something happened badly in 1.0. And of course, that's just kind of what happens.
Before. We've seen this before, and it doesn't end well. And Justinsun could be facing legal implications in the future. That's the end of the story.
Yeah, I see 20% APY, and I just think about Anchor, UST. Oh man, oof. Yeah, certain. You get it in a bull run too, but there's you can subsidize some of these things for a little bit, but just that APY itself just kind of scares me now since UST. So go slow, people. Go very slow. If it seems too good, it probably is.
Now, there's going to be people who are going to make money off of this, right? Yeah. Whales make money off of Tron. It's as simple as that. There's $44 billion of USDT on Tron. So ultimately, when this is my favorite part, there's no reason. It's simply because we have plenty of money. So stop asking me questions like, where does the yield come from? Well, guess what? If you don't know where the yield comes from, guys, where's it coming from?
He has too much money. It's coming from
you. Yep. It's coming from you. You're the yield.
Yep.
Insane.
Insane.
Crypto's fun.
This is amazing. It's funny because it's like, this is the world we're living in. What a time to be alive, guys.
It's wild. Crypto is just a weird ecosystem, just full of, I mean, it's innovative. I mean, you got to give it that. All these things are coming out. I mean, they're pushing a lot of different things and continuously. I mean, it's, new things are popping up all the time, but then you get stuff like this too. So you got it. Pros and cons, of course.
You got to give them the credit, right? Because what people are looking for here is anti-fragile, censorship-resistant money. This is all most crypto assets are like this, right? You don't have to worry about inflation holding it underneath your floor tiles or, in the mattress or in a jar in the backyard. Your value is your value. Fingers crossed. So we'll go ahead and roll over to, the what we've learned section. Ken actually wanted to talk a little bit about AI agents because he's been doing a lot of research. And interestingly enough, there is something that happened, a couple of things that happened actually right before we came on. Another thing, Saga, which is if I remember correctly, this is an app chain on Cosmos. And with Metropolis, it's a reality arbitrage protocol. It's a collab with Virtual's Wayfinder, which is a new thing, and also AI16Z. I need to dive into this, but my goodness,
wow,
we're in escape velocity now because what was like a really good Christmas break for a lot of us in our bags is now going to be shooting into the stratosphere, and we now have. So I'm just going to paint some context, Ken, before we head out there. Is that we're in a situation where we have multiple tiers, multiple levels of AI agents and an agentic economy out there. So to kind of give you just kind of like I guess just the background, the context of how we got here, I guess you can pretty much just trace it all the way back to Truth Terminal, right? Truth Terminal from developer Andy Airy created it to create like just a simple bot that posted on Twitter, right? It was a shit posting bot. From there, it found a way to get Goat Maximus, Goat, and Mark Andreessen, July 2024. That's how much time has passed. I didn't think it was this long. I had to go back and double check this. Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz gives the dev $50K in a grant. That was July of 2024.
Wow.
That's what I said. I was like, no. Has it really been that long? It's been that long.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, it's been since, and so Goat goes to 1 billion market cap, right? And then it breeds a whole other bunch of things. Not much longer after that, Higher Collective creates their tool set on Farcaster for what's called Ethernet, AETHER net. And it's just a bot that can anonymously also post on Farcaster. So they give it parameters, it can pull in interesting stuff. It wasn't until, I want to say, September or early October when it meets Clanker. Clanker is a token deployer bot that was created on Farcaster. Basically, you can interact with the bot, give it a name, give it a picture and a ticker, and it can deploy your token for free. It talks to Ether, and then they create Luminous, which is LUM, which is the first coin to be launched autonomously between two agents. And this was on Farcaster, and that was on Base. So that's how that happened. And then October 25th, 2024, Luna is the first agent from the Virtuals framework, which is on Base. A lot of this you're hearing about Truth Terminal on Solana. So Solana. Base comes out with Virtuals. And then the day after, Lincoln, who is the dev of the Coinbase Smart Wallet, that I heard about all the way back at ETH at the end of February rather, comes out with a method to create your own AI agent using Coinbase's SDK, ChatGPT API key, and I think a Replit key in 3 minutes. That's on October 26, 2024. So wow. that kind of jumpstarts everything. AI16Z is born not that much longer after that as a parity way to kind of start to aggregate agents and create this agentic economy. And then Shaw Makes Magic, creates Eliza, and a community, I guess, creates Eliza. Chaos ensues for the next quarter. Q4 is just all about AI agents running everywhere. You have token deployers, you have other platforms like Cerebro, Griffin, Arc. I'm gonna be forgetting a ton, but essentially we're at where we are now, to the point where what you thought was just a very basic level of just AI agents just posting things, like AIXBT, one of my favorite Twitter accounts, excellent poster and analysis, eating up all the mind share. You can even say that's almost a level 2 because it's actually using plumbing behind the scenes, to scrape different sources and then create its own analysis. We're now reaching levels 3 and 4, Ken, as we were talking about right before we came on, and you're like, well, what the hell could level 3 and 4 be? We're seeing all kinds of things, and we've talked about them here on this call. We have things like Griffin has its own hedge fund called Citadel. There's also Vader on Base. We have DAOs.world. We have a whole bunch of these different hedge funds now that are being created, trying to create ETFs and funds, for their holders, their users, to gain money. We talked about one in Telegram, Creator.bid. That's another agentic framework. They had one specifically called DraftKing, DRAIFT King, that does sports betting, but it pulls its information off of BitTensor. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that's been going on. And now, the idea of, Heyanon from Danielle Sestigali, famously from like Frog Nation, Abracadabra, and Wonderland, has created Heyanon, and Heyanon can go cross-chain and literally through natural language, at least through the alpha we saw last week, can actually just, he literally said, take my staked coin on the Kava blockchain, swap it for USDT, bridge it to BSC, and do a limit order buy of BNB between this, and this. And it did it. And that's wild. That is crazy talk in 2025. So, it's interesting that we've gotten to this point where it's not you just doing it, it's something doing it for you. And I think it's going to really just kind of change the way that people do things. There's new bots now. There's one for CertiK that does smart contract auditing. There's one called CPA, which will do crypto taxes. Chart stage, you just send a screenshot of a trading view chart and it'll analyze it for you. There's all kinds of stuff that's out there. So anyway, I didn't want to take too much away from you, Ken. Go ahead and talk about what you wanted to come in with.
No, yeah, you you gave me some knowledge on AI agents that I didn't even know about. What I find interesting is they're kind of like the spectrum of how much AI is involved here. And I kind of got started because there's a subnet that was doing an AI agent kind of playground, Masa, on BitTensor, where you can kind of pit whatever creates the best character. So I created an agent using AI16Z, AI16Z Eliza. And I want to plug it into Taoshi. This is just a side project. This is just playing around, but it's very fascinating. What it really kind of does is it uses LLMs, but you you can guide it along the way, but you hook into the LLM to get it to create certain actions. So I created one just playing around over the weekend, and it's generating videos, AI videos.
Nice.
So it's for a meme coin, Apple, but it's fascinating in how they work. Again, some of these, I think AI, the one you were talking about, the one that kind of looks in the background on different calls and whatnot, and kind of knows.
AIXBT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that one probably is more so not fully AI, but using a lot of AI in there. Some of them are just kind of tweet responses. AI16Z is super interesting because, it's a framework for building these agents. I've played around a lot with it now, kind of talking to the devs, and you can plug in so many different things into these, and you can get it to do different actions. You can create a whole personality for it. So that's really all I wanted to bring up, just how interesting this agent ecosystem is. And some of them are fully AI, some of them are kind of more prompts, but what are these things going to become? So it's been a lot of fun building using ElizaOS, which is what AI16Z put out. But the space is still fresh, but super interesting stuff is coming out. Like I said, I got mine to generate random AI videos, but you can get it to do a whole host of different things. I'm using OpenAI's LLM to kind of fine tune different things, and I'm still fresh to a lot of this, but it's exciting to see where the whole ecosystem is going to go.
Well, here I wanted to put this up because I bookmark a lot of stuff when I'm doing my research. This one's going to blow your mind. The interesting part, and this is just me being going back into my programming thing, is what's interesting about Eliza is something that's very interesting about a couple different frameworks that I like. Like, for example, why can't I think of the name of the blockchain? It's not Agronic. It's something like that. But they created CosmWasm with a JavaScript layer into it. So now you can do Cosmos-based smart contracts in JavaScript as opposed to using WebAssembly. But Eliza, like you said, it's a TypeScript layer. I think that's the most interesting part, because that brings in a lot of Web 2 developers, right? Not that Python isn't popular. Python's popular, is great. I've taught classes on Python. It's pretty straightforward to learn. You just have to learn its nuances. But overall, the fact that TypeScript, which is a lot easier to learn for a lot of seasoned front-end developers or full stack developers, is great for Eliza. This is actually from, I want to say, their most recent white paper. But being able to bootstrap a full ecosystem of all of these different pieces, especially with just these adapters, and that's all that you need to access data, because that's the one thing that all these agents need. They just need the data. Then that's really just They're just scripts that do things, but they have, they have complex things that they, literally can do.
Yeah. To
Go ahead.
Eliza, yeah, I mean, they literally give you just a file where you can plug in your API keys, and you can just, they have this whole client provider base, so you can provide, as you see here, so many different sources. I think they just released an update for CoinMarketCap to be a provider of information. You just plug in Infura keys, so you can pull in EVM type of stuff. So it has all these connectors that you can pull in to build a character and to feed it information, and it just works off of that. So it's, Eliza's fascinating. And like you said, TypeScript is one of the things that I saw. It was TypeScript, and being a full stack, but primarily front end, I got it running over the weekend. So
exactly,
to get an agent running in a couple of days. I mean, well, I got it running in a couple of hours, but fine tuning it took a weekend. But to build an agent in a couple of hours and opens the door. And I know Eliza's repo is one of the fastest growing repos. On GitHub. So people are using it.
Exactly. And the one thing about stuff like this is that when we're seeing this here, we're seeing all of this here. One thing to note, if you're not tech savvy, there's also no code examples also coming up as well. So we're going to see a lot of interesting use cases. For me personally, when it comes to DeFi, when it comes to trading, I would like something that could just give me information on when I need to act, right? Because that's the edge that we're looking for with AI agents. Yeah, it's cool that it can go out and, Luna goes out and live stream because it's some type of mobile gaming avatar, and some of these other ones are too. Like for example, Freysa pivoted to from being like an AI based gaming influencer to an AI based NFT collections launcher, which I thought was weird. That's kind of crazy, but to kind of put a bow on it, for anybody who's in virtual right now, they're working on the protocol. Just so you guys know, I've seen a lot of FUD about virtuals for a minute, but you can't deny the fact that it's probably going to be the leading framework out there for quite some time. What they've done is they had a post, and I've overrun it with my picture here, but since October 26th, the date we talked about with Luna, they've earned, I want to say, more than 12.9 million virtual tokens. That's roughly almost $40 million at today's price.
Wow.
In post bonding fees. Because the one thing about virtuals is now they have like a pump.fund thing where anyone can create an agent using their framework, and then it has to hit a certain market cap, and then once it's bonded, it gets a Uniswap pool, and then from there fees go back to various people. They've earned more than 13 million, and they're actually taking that money to buy back some of the largest agent coins that they have on their system. So ones that we talk about quite a bit in our group, like Game and Convo, these are infrastructure pieces that are important, actually, Ken, because Game is their regular agentic framework. Convo is their messaging framework that all agents can use for all of their information. AIXBT, of course, is AIXBT. That's the analysis bot. Sequoia is is like Sequoia Capital. It's like a hedge fund.
Wow.
And they have other ones here. Vader also, Saint also, hedge fund type stuff. And then you have stuff that's kind of interesting. And again, these are all will these make these go higher? Most likely. It already has for Misato. Misato is already up on a 4x as of this morning based off of this news. So, buy the rumor, sell the news type deal. We'll see where this all goes. But having a flywheel now of the protocol going back and buying and buy back and burn tokens is something that's going to hopefully keep virtuals afloat, especially in what you mentioned now. We're now in multiple stages where all of this has led up to just creating these frameworks, whether it be on Eliza, whether it be on virtual, whether it be on either Camel or some of these other things that are more Web 2 GPT stuff. But in crypto, we have all of these other frameworks that new things are going to be built off of, new blockchain links, new data sources. Wow, they got everything over here. An adapter for a Redis cache and a Postgres database and SQL. Nice.
I got mine hooked into Supabase, and I mean, it was literally just providing it a key, and it created the whole schema for you and populated it. And boom.
Nice.
Yeah,
How?
it's crazy.
I want to ask, how much does that cost?
There is a free tier with Supabase that I'm using. So,
Okay.
but you know, if you want your agent probably to run pretty quickly, you could use a, you know, excuse me. There is API key stuff with OpenAI. I'm using something called Open Router, which routes all these LLMs that you can use. That's pretty cheap. But yeah, there's a little bit of cost there if you want to use a LLM API key, which you're gonna want to use.
Yeah.
So not super expensive, but if you want your agent to perform well, there'll probably be a little bit of a cost there.
I think that's great opportunity cost, right? Because for a lot of the stuff that I provide for our mastermind, that people already asked, are you guys doing this and this and this? The answer is yes. We've been working on AI tooling for quite some time. But the ability to have all this plumbing in the background to help us get better information out to our members, unreal how much value there is there. Plus, being able to just have insights. I think that's the key data point here. And I think with you guys at Taoshi and Glitch as well, that's also important, is the ability to have agents like this just feed you data about certain things that are out there in the market. These are all key things I think that'll work out well. Luke, you're in a growth position. You see stuff like this. How does that make you feel in terms of the tooling that's available for you to give to prospective clients and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I quite honestly haven't done a ton of research into the AI agent space. I'd say I've more so gambled on it on Solana than anything else.
My man.
I think it's cool though. I mean, all of this tech makes our jobs, it gives layers to our careers, right? Like we can use these tools to, accompany our human knowledge to, further advance what we're all trying to do. But I do think that it is interesting how much saturation there is already. You see these things spun up in crypto, and it's like, like you mentioned, I think the original one was the Go Terminal or whatever, Truth Terminal, sorry. And just from there's been such a huge boom, and it's like over time we'll kind of see what prevails. But I feel like right now we're kind of in a saturation for AI to weed out the garbage and really see what works, what doesn't. Because right now it's just, too much going on. And it seems like maybe we're already seeing a little bit of that with kind of the dip from a lot of AI agents recently. I was in like a Zerebro derivative called Blorme for a while. And that one, it ran up to like, I got in at like 2, ran up to like 27, and then it's like back to 2. And it's, it's clearly going to 0. So it's just interesting to see how these things play out because there's so many layers in the ecosystem. It's hard to keep track, really.
And that's the hardest part, right? It's hard to keep track. So essentially, this is, something we talk about all the time about separating, the signal from the noise. And this is like a core tenet of Beacon is that, we say that confusion equals money. And essentially the ability to look past the confusion, because most people are going to look at this, are like, oh, that's way too complex. I'm not going to do that. The people who are willing to go in there, put in the work to learn it and figure it out, they're the ones making the money.
And sometimes it doesn't even take that much of an extra step to do that. It's just a little step above the average. Right. Like with these AI agents, that's a little bit more in depth, of course, but there's other things that just takes a little bit more work just to get past the average person.
Yeah, I'd say on that note too, something I've learned in crypto that I've had to teach myself is there's times where I'm like, oh, I'll do this to go buy this, but I like procrastinate it. And I've had to learn over time, if I say I'm going to do it, I should just do it right away. Because oftentimes I find that I miss the opportunity. By the time I want to do it, I'm like, oh shoot, the opportunity passed. And there's so many times in crypto where things do happen. So, I mean, if you just got to do the little bit of extra legwork, take the risk, bridge to another chain, whatever it is, just don't be lazy about it. And you'll probably, find the opportunity you're looking for. So.
Well, I can tell you this, it's not going away. For anybody who's curious, is this like a fad? I had somebody ask on a recent member call, last week, is this just a fad? Or are these just glorified meme coins? To a degree, yes. there are just some meme coin type of ideas that possibly go nowhere. Like, for example, there's a girl who's an influencer on TikTok, and literally all her bot does is talk about French fries. It is what it is, right? Or my personal favorite project, Dolphin Speak, where it took any anonymous post that you made, and it translated into type of stuff. So that was my personal favorite. It's gone pretty far down. So bring a non-dolphin back, but it is what it is.
Your dolphin speak is.
Duolingo is really helpful for me. It's helping me with all kinds of things. Friend of the channel, not.
Yeah. Are we gonna do a podcast where we just speak in dolphin?
I really hope not, because that might hurt that might hurt a lot of ears. But I'll leave you guys with this on the subject. And again, thanks Ken for really just kind of talking about this. This is a recent post from one of the core members of the Base blockchain. This is everything that's been on Base since last October. Look at all of this stuff, and they're active projects, guys. These are all active projects on things that will be going on, and this is a very high level thing. So to give you an idea of specifically how saturated this thing has become, we're also seeing AI agent platforms on multiple blockchains. I've tried to not talk about Sonium today because that's just a sad state, but there's going to be AI agents on Sonium. There's going to be stuff on Abstract Inc. from Kraken. That's a brand new blockchain, layer 2 superchain from OP. Arbitrum is going to start becoming a hotbed for AI agents. Avalanche is going to start doing some things. Treasure layer 3 on top of ZK Sync. Watch out for them. I mean, I'm just giving you a little bit of alpha here, guys. So anything that's out there that has an AI agentic platform available, if they can get enough TVL in there, enough usage, frankly, we could see a huge explosion, mainly because the next step for all of these, as shown by Hayanon, is the interoperability, making it cross-chain. Once these things go cross-chain, it's a wrap. We're going to see all kinds of interesting things happening. It's going to make my life a lot easier because I can spend, less time doing a ton of research, less time, trying to find all the insights that I need, and, focusing on the things that really matter. And of course, all the stuff we talk about.
Chris, should we make you a Chris's intern agent?
That would be fantastic.
Chris's intern,
that would be fantastic. I can only really pay in like food, right?
An agent, so I don't even know if it eats food. So
You're right. Even better. Yeah. Better.
But I won't keep us any longer. But literally, you just provided your whole Twitter, and it'll just create a file that summarizes a character for you, and you just feed it in. It's wild.
Yeah, not with the current X API limits, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other conversation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me take a second to feature these guys again. Thanks to Luke, head of growth at Taoshi, Ken, DevRel at Taoshi. Thanks again so much, guys, for being here. Great guests. Love the talk. Please plug what you like.
Yeah, now I can go. As Chris said, developer relations at Taoshi, working on a new project Horizon, so we can get your signals into PTN. So excited for that one. I think in the chat someone was interested if Taoshi was hiring. We're always looking for talented people, so please reach out. But Glitch, Horizon, Taoshi, all that stuff is coming. So excited.
Yeah. I'd echo Ken. Thanks, Chris, for having us on board. Always a pleasure to chat with you. It's always fun shooting with you guys. If you guys are interested in what we're doing, our socials are Taoshi.io, Taoshi.io on Twitter, as well as Glitch.financial. So I've got some exciting stuff coming. Looking forward to hopefully coming back on the show here next time you need us, Chris. And
is it too late to get in on the beta, by the way?
No, not at all. We're still collecting signups. We're planning to launch in Q1 of this year. It's for beta, but between you and me, we're aiming for end of February. So
nice. That means it'll be in it when we're all at ETH Denver. So, are you guys going to ETH Denver?
I don't think we are, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were, I was like, let's do something together for sure. Next time I see you guys, for sure, we're definitely doing something together.
We have to.
Absolutely. Guys, also don't forget we have a really huge Beacon Masterclass coming up this weekend. If you're interested in that, please check out the pin post over in TVL. Join for free, of course. It's absolutely free. School.com/Beacon. Join the now thousands of others, the dozens, hundreds who are coming and learning about DeFi and really just trying to understand how all of this works. I know there's a lot of people who come aboard that they're like, I'm here because I want to know, how much time is required to make this program work? Can Canadians do this? Can I possibly make above market yields on my stables? These are all questions from Call for Help that I have on my agenda. The answer is yes. And you can learn all of this here with our free group at Total Value Locked. Of course, if you want more than that, you want to get there faster. If you want to be, in our fantastic mastermind, being with the best in the business, get real-time access to us. Obviously, we have those offerings available. You can do all that. Learning more at school.com/Beacon, absolutely free. And of course, thanks again to all our family members and our mastermind members, and our accelerator members for making all this possible. Again, we'll see you next week on our show we've been doing since December 2021 for more great analysis, more takes, and some of the brightest minds in all of Web3, on-chain, blockchain, and DeFi. Till then, we'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody. 07, as you know, as we say here, beacons up, banks down. Take care, everybody. Stick around, guys.